Hey Canucks fans, let's set some realistic expectations for rookie Vasily Podkolzin. I'm Canuck Clay, I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the good-looking Canucks Positivity Club. It's my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Thursday, August the 5th. If you're new, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button for Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Thanks to everyone who joined Parker and me for Canucks After Dark last night, our new permanent time slot of Wednesday night at 10 p.m. We had a great time chatting about everything, the Canucks, the NHL, and plans for the summer. Speaking of the plans, maybe not for the summer, but more importantly for the NHL, let's talk about Vasily Podkolzin. And I want to talk about expectations for our rookie, our first round draft pick from 2019. By the way, that's the last time we had a first round draft pick. And in particular, I want to compare him to expectations and performance of another rookie last year, but from the same draft class of Nils Höglander. So let's talk about that draft. We remember it. That was the one that I got to go to because it was in Vancouver. That was the one where between day one and day two, I pulled an all-nighter and I volunteered at my son Sean's after grad. That was kind of cool. It was a great weekend, great experience. And the Saturday happened to be my birthday. So on the Friday night, the Canucks chose Vasily Podkolzin with the 10th overall pick, first round pick in the 2019 NHL entry draft. We remember Stan Smeel butchering his name to Vasilias Podslovins, but that's okay. We knew who he meant, Vasily Podkolzin, and we know the drill. He was ranked as high as number 3 behind Jack Hughes and Capo Caco as late as the spring. Then he fell a little bit, and Canucks fans were split on the pick, but I've always been one who really liked the pick since that day on June 21st, 2019. The very next day, we choose Nils Höglander with our second round pick, 40th overall. So the two guys there were 30 picks apart. Podkolzin, first round, 10th overall. Höglander, second round, 40th overall. But it was Höglander who made the team first, and he was a surprise. I admit, last year, I did not think he would make the team out of training camp, but he had a really strong training camp. Remember, no exhibition games, and he had such a good training camp, and I guess showed well in the practices and the scrimmages that he made the opening night roster, and he played in all 56 games last season, amassing 27 points. So basically, exactly, almost a point every 2 games, 27 and 56, 13 goals, 14 assists, 16 penalty minutes, and 11% shooting percentage, and a -4, which isn't bad considering how poor the team was. Now, granted, he did play on what you'd argue was the Canucks' best and most consistent line last season. That was with Bo Horvat and Tanner Pearson. So I was surprised, but I was happy to admit my surprise and happy to admit that I was wrong in predicting that Höglander would not make the team last year. He did, and he was arguably one of our most consistent forwards. His defensive play tailed off a little bit near the end of the year, but the whole team, it's hard to judge, right? Because the whole team had a really tough go with it. Höglander was born in December 20, 2000, whereas Podkolzin is June 24, 2 days after me, but many years after, June 24, 2001. So Höglander is 6 months older than Podkolzin, so maybe it makes sense that he made it to the league 1 year prior to Podkolzin. So if we establish Höglander as the baseline, good rookie season, I think he finished 5th or 6th in Calder voting, and like I said, a point every 2 games, just under 0.5 points per game. As a top 6 winger, he was basically on the second line the entire season. So that's Höglander. What can we expect from Podkolzin? Well, Podkolzin has played the last 3 years in the KHL with men, against men, and we've heard a lot of things about his deployment, not great, but he had an awesome playoff run. Actually, he had 11 points in 16 games, was one of the leading point producers in the playoffs for the KHL last year, and he is ready to go. He's big. He's 6 feet, 191, whereas Höglander, they list him at least as, I'm just looking it up here, Höglander is 5'9", 185. So you're getting a guy who's a few inches taller and about 15 pounds heavier. So Podkolzin's going to play a little different than Höglander. In fact, I've heard people say that where Höglander excels in the offensive zone, we're going to see Podkolzin excel in the defensive zone. So maybe we shouldn't expect the same point total from Podkolzin, especially if he's projected to make the third line as opposed to the second line. I've talked about this many times, but presuming Miller is a left winger, which I still think we should do. Thanks for your feedback from yesterday's video, by the way. Or 2 days ago, I should say. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Regardless. No, I think it was only yesterday. Most of you people agree with me that he should be a winger, not a third line center. I expect Podkolzin to line up with Pearson and Dickinson on the third line. So he's not going to get top 6 minutes. He's not going to make the first power play unit. He's probably not going to kill penalties yet in his rookie season. Might he be on the second power play unit? Likely. So I don't think we're looking at massive minutes for Podkolzin. So because he's not going to get massive minutes, I'm not sure if we can expect, extrapolated 40 points next season. I'd be happy for Podkolzin for a rookie season. If he's playing mostly on the third line, I'd be happy with 30 points from him, 25 to 30 points. I still think that's a really good first season for Podkolzin. Where we're going to see his, I think him stand out is in his compete level, his work on the boards, his physicality, his defense, his defensive awareness, and just making the Vancouver Canucks a tougher team to play against. And if he's creating, Dickinson does have a bit of offensive ability. Tanner Pearson, we know, can shoot as well. Not the best passer or play driver, but there might be opportunities for Podkolzin to pop in some points. And then especially if he plays on the second power play unit, there's another option there. I think what's really interesting, though, looking at these two players is whereas Höglander was basically given a chance on the second line, Podkolzin will likely be given a chance on the third line, and it's a matter of depth. That's the difference, because the Canucks this season have guys like Dickinson and especially Connor Garland that are going to push Podkolzin down a little bit, or at least maybe a better way of putting it is there's not a clear path to the second line for Podkolzin, whereas Höglander, he didn't have to beat out anyone, right? It was just basically Besser, Miller, Pearson as the other three forwards, and Höglander was by default our fourth best forward already, our fourth best winger, I should say, where you could argue that there's already going to be 4 wingers ahead of Podkolzin, before even 5 when you count Pearson when he gets here. So I think that's a big thing to consider when it comes to Podkolzin. So if we compare Podkolzin and Höglander a year from now, I think that's fair. It's not fair to expect from Podkolzin what we got from Höglander, which was a revelation. But I think it is fair to hope for the best. Obviously, for Podkolzin, the better he does, the better our team does. The tougher it will be to play against, and overall, it will just make our overall depth of our team a lot better. And again, he's a rookie. That's exciting. So we've had a pretty good run of rookies. Of course, Pettersson winning the Calder. Actually, Besser runner-up. Pettersson winning. Hughes runner-up. Then it was Höglander, not a runner-up, but it still finished top 5 or top 6. So maybe Podkolzin gets us back onto the podium, so to speak, at least a Calder Trophy finalist, but that's not important. More important is that he gets here, he acclimatizes, and he's ready to go at the start of training camp. And that's what I'll wind up with in The Athletic. Dranson Dollywell did an article talking about the state of the Canucks, and when it comes to Podkolzin, he said this: I'm really hoping to get in lineup, have a lot of ice time, and perform well. I'm really excited to start my NHL career. Can't wait. I want to feel the atmosphere of playing for such a club, for NHL, and I hope I will be able to help my team a lot and perform to the best of my ability. So he's trying to get over here. The Canucks have applied for a visa, a work permit for him. They haven't got it yet, but hopefully that happens sometime in August, so he can get here and be ready for the opening of training camp in September. So Canucks fans, I ask you, put in the comment section below, what are your expectations for Podkolzin? Oh, the last thing I'll say is there's a chance that Podkolzin and Höglander might be even fighting for the same spot on the second line, and then the other guy would go to the third line. My guess is Höglander, given a year of experience, has the inside edge, but we'll see what happens during training camp. So what are your expectations for Vasily Podkolzin? I'm saying 25 to 30 points, and that's based on starting on the third line for the Canucks. If he starts on the second line, I think you can bump that up to 35 to 40, but let's go with 25 to 30 points, and let's say of those, 12 are goals and the rest are assists. Let me know what you think, and tell me if you're excited about Podkolzin joining the Vancouver Canucks. Leave a comment below. I would like to read, react, and reply as best that I can. Shout out to my Hall of Fame members: Jens95, simalexander, Justin Credible, nucksfan number 29, Lucas Gates, Chris Seifried, Adam Broomfield, Shea Family Channel, Shannon Hollingworth, and Andrew Chang. Thanks for your support as always, and thanks to the support of members of all levels. You are listed in my video descriptions. If you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this or in my videos, on the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. As always, subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, become a member if you'd like to, and comment on this video if you'd like to. What are your expectations for Vasily Podkolzin this season? Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.